This is Dave the Guru and another tutorial on GameSalad. In this video, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at the expression editor and ways in how we use it and what it does in GameSalad. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just drag this player actor. I've made some prototypes here, and let's open it up in the actors pane. And we're going to see here that I've made a basic rule, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to spawn an actor like a bullet. So this is something common that we would do in GameSalad. If you have a hero that you want to have a weapon or a gun that shoots an object of some kind, we need to direct that object or bullet to something, or we need to be able to aim that. So I'm going to show you a basic way using the expression editor and how we do that. So let's go into our little bullet actor here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up this accelerate behavior that I've put in here, and we're going to use a basic expression. So let me go ahead and just leave this up here like that, and let's go ahead and grab another accelerate behavior so we can do this fresh. And you're going to see right here this little E. And this little E means the expression editor. So anytime we see that, and as we go up to a rule and we make something new, we'll go ahead and just do an attribute here. We'll do a numeric expression, and you're going to see you've got the expression editor in here. So this will be found in many different behaviors and different places that you can do an expression inside this area. And just by clicking on the little E, it brings up the expression area editor. Now, what the expression editor is, basically what it does is it allows us to take particular data sets and do either calculations of that data or to build strings of different types of information to string them together, as we'll see later on using text attributes and the display text behavior. And we'll see if we click on this disclosure drop down menu right here, it's going to give us a list of all different kinds of expressions or functions that we can do inside here. And a lot of this has to do with trigonometry and math equations that we can do inside the expression editor. These ones here are for the plays together or networking. These down here relate to doing things with tables, and these down here have things to do with text and vector to angle, which we're going to work with in this one. So now I'm going to go ahead and just grab this while I've got it open, this vector to angle, because this is the expression that we're going to do. And so we're going to be doing a little bit of trig here, and this is going to allow us to find the angle between the mouse position or wherever we clicked or wherever the mouse is, and it's going to put the bullet on that trajectory. So really what we're doing is we're saying to the software, we're saying we want to do this direction, but what we want you to do is we want you to do some math first, and then go ahead, calculate that direction, and then go ahead and accelerate in that direction. So in other words, when we have data sets, because we could just put a straight angle in here, we could come up and type in, okay, I want to go just 90 degrees or whatever. So we could go ahead and just not even open the expression editor. We could just type 90 degrees, and if this will fire the bullet on a fixed position or accelerate something on that fixed position of 90 degrees. Now, if we've got something, a moving object, we need to do something different. We can't just pick a fixed position. And this was what the expression editor allows us to do. It allows us to take the data and do an equation on that data, and then go ahead and, after the equation is completed, to go ahead and do whatever field that is based on the calculation. So we're going to go ahead and use a vector to angle function here, and we're going to do vector to angle, and we'll just come back, and we're going to go ahead and we want it to go to the mouse position. So we're going to go device, mouse, position, X, and then we're going to do minus self position X, and then we'll add a comma, and we're going to do mouse position Y minus self position Y. And when we're doing expressions like this, we want to make sure that we have it closed off in brackets. So we're going to go ahead and we'll close that. We'll close this one. I'll go ahead and turn this one off. We want this relative to the scene, not to the actor, and we'll speed this up. So we'll go to 2000 right here, and then we'll come back and we'll we'll preview it. And as you can see, it can actually move the bullet a little bit because it's tracking to the mouse position. But it will fire basically wherever I have the mouse. Once I've clicked the button, it will fire on that angle. It will calculate the angle between my player and wherever my mouse is, and then it will fire on that trajectory. So that's one way we use the expression editor to do things in GameSalad. So let's go ahead and just look at another way that what we can do in GameSalad. So let me drag this little actor in here, and let's go ahead and spread this out, and let's go ahead inside of it, and I'm just going to go ahead and open the prototype here, and I've done some self attributes. So, and basically I'm displaying this self attribute, which is integer, which is a sum. So let's say that I want to know how many lives my character has left between how many lives I've given him as a total and how many lives he has left. Well, if I open the expression editor, I can go ahead and just do some basic math inside here. So I can say, okay, we want to take the lives total, and then we want to subtract them from the lives left. And we can go ahead and it'll show us 3. So we've got both add and subtract in there. So let's do the plus. And you can see you can add variables together. We can divide variables as well. Or we can, let's multiply. So we'll do the asterisk, which is multiplication. And we can also divide. And let's go ahead and we'll just divide this, which we can do using a /. And we see that we can divide as well. So we could do a lot of basic. We could, do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus, plus, plus. You can do a whole, equation of adding things and doing this calculation before it spits you out the end result. And this is one of the ways that we work with the expression editor. Now, also another thing that we can do is, we'll get rid of this for now, is we can do some distance. So let's say we had 2 actors and we want to calculate the distance between this actor and this player actor I've got here. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to just open this. Let me just change the color so we can have some distinction between the two. And so now we'll go into our enemy actor here. And as you can see, I've already created a self attribute that's going to give me the distance between the 2 actors. So let's go ahead to our constrain, which is a behavior that gives us constant updates. It actually mirrors the code constantly, the data, every cycle, so that it just continually keeps updating. So we'll go ahead and constrain the self distance between, and we'll go ahead and click open the expression editor. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the magnitude function. So let's come down and grab the magnitude function. And we're going to go back, and I'm going to do it this way. Although usually you'll use external attributes, I'm going to go ahead and just, since I've broken the prototype, now I can access the scene. And so I'll just go ahead in and grab my player actor here, and I'll grab his position X. And then I'm going to do minus. And I'll just go ahead and grab my self. I'll go back here. And enemy self position X. And then we put another comma in here. And we're going to go get, once again, our player's position Y. And then we're going to minus it from our own self position Y, and then we're going to close it with a closed bracket. And so now when we go in to this, we're going to see we have the position. Now let me go ahead and change this text to white so we can see it better. And there it is. There's the position. And let me just go ahead and throw a up offset in there. Let's do 100. Just so we get it out of the way so we can see it. There we go. And so I've got some rules in here. I'm going to go ahead and drag. And as you can see, as I get closer and closer and closer, it is telling me how close and far away this actor is. And since basically we measure in GameSalad on actors from the centers, the closer I get the two centers together, the closer we're going to be. So this helps us find our any position or the distance between two positions of actors in GameSalad. Now I could also go ahead and take this function, and if I click an insertion point here, I'm going to come down and I'm going to grab this floor and I'm going to back it up to the first bracket. Now make sure when you're doing things like this, remember there was two brackets here, so anytime we have one bracket, we need to close it with another, even if there's a bracket on the end. So I'm going to go ahead and put another bracket on there. And then we're going to go ahead back in, and as you'll see, we've floored it down. We've got rid of the decimal places, and we've just left it to the whole numbers by using the floor function as well. So you begin to see how we can couple and just begin to build out these calculations and use these different functions to begin to do complex math and trigonometry and word strings and those kinds of things. And there's 1,000 different ways that you can use the expression editor. I couldn't cover them all in this one video. I'm just trying to give you the basics or a basic understanding of what can be accomplished in the expression editor. If you search the forums or you come on and ask a question, there are a lot of experienced veteran developers around here who can tell you how to do a particular thing, manipulate a particular set of data, do a particular expression to allow you to do an orbit or any kind of different types of movement, or calculating different types of data, or stringing different types of data together. They can help you sort through what is the best expression to use to get a desired outcome, because there are just so many ways, and it's really specific to the type of event that you're trying to calculate and you're trying to do. And there's a lot of stuff already on the forums that's really great. So let's just take one more look at something that's very common. Let's get rid of these two things that we do use the expression editor in, and that is, and I'll just grab this actor here that I had used for the math stuff, and that is the display text behavior. And we do stuff a little different with that, as it's not really math, but what we do with the display text is we do, as you see, the expression editor is here. So a lot of times we want to add text. Now simply if you come in and let's just remove this expression, and you're going to see we have some basic text in here. And if we just go ahead and type in anything like this, it automatically gets recognized as text. Okay, but once we open the expression editor and we just type something in, you're going to see that nothing shows up, and you're saying, why does nothing show up? Because once we open the expression editor, we key into something. In other words, we're telling the software now we're going to write an expression. And so in text, in an expression, to identify to the computer once we've opened the expression editor that we're categorizing something as text, we need to close it in quotes. So now if I close this in quotes, it's going to display the text. So, and the reason why we do this, we need to use the quotes, is because in the expression editor, we can begin to mix text and numbers and variables. So let's go ahead and in here and let's change this to, say, score. Say we wanted to display our score. So we have our text and we're telling the system that we have score. Now, in order to separate a piece of text or even separate items when we're dealing in the expression editor with text, we need to put 2 periods. And then we're going to come over and let's just grab our lives total right here. And so when we display it, you'll see we have our lives, our score, and our lives total. And then they're jammed together in there. So what do we do about that? So let's go ahead back into the expression editor. Let's go ahead and put a tab in here. So we're going to do backslash. We're going to do backslash. And we're going to do a T. And see, that's going to give us a little bit of separation in there between our score and our 8. And we could go ahead in and just come in like this and then between 2 dots. So let's drag this down here. We could go ahead in between our 2 dots. And we could go ahead and just do quotes and then do another backslash T and then another quote and then 2 dots. And that's going to give us even greater distance between our score text and our number. So in this, we begin to see how we use the expression editor with text and different things, and you can see that there's a lot of different ways to manipulate data, and there are specific ways that we need to do it. And there, like I said, there are some great tutorials. Mostly what you'll find with the expression editor is that when you're getting in and you're looking at a tutorial that involves the doing something a certain way, they'll show you expressions in there, and that's really the best way to learn, is just take it as whatever you're doing, you need to learn the expression for it. So you'll really learn the expression editor by just watching different processes, and for every process is a different way to use the expression editor. It's really something that you can do a whole host of things in, and it's really very specific to what you're doing. But this gives you a basic idea of what is done in the expression editor, what it kind of is all about, and how we use it in the creation of our games. Anyways, this is Dave the Guru. You can find me on the forums under the name Lost Oasis Games. I'll see you in the next video.